I love a good, feel-good story. And I know you do too. We love fascinating, incredible stories. It's why I'm in the BCIT Radio Arts program, because there's a very heavy emphasis on storytelling. But let's talk a little bit about one of the craziest stories to come out of the 2017 NHL entry draft. You might have heard his name last night. This is Alexandre Texier. This is an incredible story right here, because Texier is a very young player. And coming into yesterday's game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and playing the whole series against the Tampa Bay Lightning, the majority of viewers, and probably you as well, watching the series probably went, "Who the hell's that? Texier, who's that? When did the Blue Jackets get a guy named Texier?" Well, let's talk a little bit about him. Alexandre Texier is a 2017 second-round pick. He was picked 45th overall by the Columbus Blue Jackets, and he was actually kind of noteworthy because he was born in Grenoble, France, and he's one of the only pure French players to have been drafted in the NHL just in the past few years. There have been 13 French players in the NHL draft ever, and Texier was the most recent one. The ones before him didn't really pan out, and the only one that actually kind of did was Cristobal Huet, who was a goalie. But Texier was drafted in 2017. He spent his draft year playing for the Grenoble hockey team in the French League. 19 points in 40 games played. In this season, he represented France in the U18s and the U20 World Junior tournaments. And he was pretty alright. He actually had better numbers in the World Junior Under-20s than he did in the U18s, which is really weird, but hey, it was pretty good for the young guy. Then, after getting drafted by the Columbus Blue Jackets, he had a few options. He was drafted 17th overall by the Baie-Comeau Drakkar in the QMJHL. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but looking at the logo, you can probably understand which team that is. He had a few options. He was drafted into that QMJHL draft, but he didn't go there. Instead, he went over to the Kalpa in the Finnish Liga. Playing as the youngest player on that team in the Finnish Liga, he got himself 22 points in 53 games played and 13 goals. That was pretty good, especially as an 18-year-old guy. Then going into this most recent season, playing for the Kalpa once again, Texier led his team in points. 41 total points in 55 games played for the 19-year-old player in the Pro League as one of the youngest players in the league. And seriously, he was putting himself on the map. Blue Jackets fans were watching it and just building up the hype train for Texier because he was so good. And the fact is, he's not really supposed to be this good because French players are never this good. But he's breaking that. And as his draft plus 2 year carried on, he was doing extraordinarily well, which is why when the Liga season came to an end, he came over to the Cleveland Monsters in the AHL, Columbus's farm team. He was a point per game there in 7 games, 5 goals, 2 assists, 7 total points. Then he played the last few games of the Columbus Blue Jackets season. He got 2 regular season games under his belt, and he got a goal. Then going into the playoffs, he played all 4 games. He got 2 goals in Game 4. One of them was an absolute snipe. The other one was an empty netter. And right now, Alexandre Texier is looking to be one of the better players the Columbus Blue Jackets has down the line. And he's 19. He was born September 13th, 1999, meaning that he was one of the youngest players in the 2017 draft. The cutoff date for the 2017 draft was mid-September 1999. If he was born just like a week later, he probably would not have been eligible, which is nuts. And now he's in the NHL. How crazy is that? Alexandre Texier, a guy playing in France, a guy who was pretty dominant in France, above his age level for a good majority of his time there, went over to Finland, became one of the best players on his team, and now he's in the NHL as one of the better working players on the team. John Tortorella was talking about how Texier is one of the more fearless, more puck-battle-y players on the team, and who's really smart away and on the puck, which is why he's succeeding so well. And if this keeps up, Texier will probably pass Antoine Roussel for being the best French player in the league. If this guy was Canadian, or if he was Swedish or Finnish, he would probably have more hype around him. But this young Frenchman has totally taken the game on his shoulders, and the Blue Jackets, I don't think they've lost a game when he's been in the lineup. Which obviously it's pretty cool, but we're not gonna put everything on that one stat alone. But Alexandre Texier, looking to be one of the better players going into the future, and if he continues on the pace that he has been, I wouldn't be surprised if he was a dark horse for the Calder Trophy going into 2019-2020. Seriously, look out for Texier towards the end of the playoffs and in next season's NHL Season 2. It's gonna be great. Hope you guys enjoyed this miniature plus the Troll/9 Gaming, and bye.